Today I am going to show you 10 tips on how to use Procreate effectively, including a few new features from the 4.3 update. If you haven't seen my previous Procreate tips video, I'll leave it on screen and down below. Be sure to go and check that out, but otherwise, let's get into it. So in Procreate, I have this drawing on here. I've just imported it as a PNG to use for example purposes. For now, we're going to put this to one side. So the first thing I want to demonstrate for you is quick shape. So this is something that comes in super handy for me as a logo designer. I use this feature a lot in my designs. So for example, recently I designed a logo for a photographer and it was outlined with a circle. So as I was doing my sketches, for example, I'll use the monoline pen. So just as an example, I'm going to draw a super simple logo. So let's do B. So this is a work in progress for logo I'm currently doing, and I want it to have an outline of a circle. So I could try and hand draw a circle, but it's a bit naff. So what I'm going to do is hand draw a circle, and then when I get to the other end, press and hold, and you'll see that it creates a smooth circle shape. And then up here, a little menu has popped up, and you can click edit shape and turn it either into ellipse, so it just smooths the lines, you can adjust, or into a perfect circle on a bit of a bigger scale. So I'm going to draw a freehand circle, and then press and hold, and then the circle changes shape and a menu pops up. You click edit shape and you can keep it as an ellipse where you can adjust these little blue counters, or you can click circle, which will turn it into a perfect circle. The next thing I want to show you I have found so useful, and this is colour palettes. So for example, if I saw an image that I really like the colours of and I wanted to save those colours for a future project, I can make a palette and it's saved in Procreate. So I really like the colours I've used in this drawing. So what I'm going to do is click this little square on the side, and then this thing comes up here, and with this you can select the colour that you wish. So I like the yellow one. Once I have selected that colour, it goes up into the top right hand corner, and if I click that, it comes up with a big colour wheel and a colour palette underneath. So what I want to do is click the palettes in the corner, and here are the default palettes that just come with Procreate. I'm going to click this plus button, and then this is my new palette, and all I need to do is click in one of the corners and it adds that yellow colour from my swatch. You can also rename it, so I'm just going to name it Talia because that's the name of this lovely girl on my screen, and then I can just keep repeating this. So if I want to select this red colour or pink colour, whatever you want to call it, it goes up here, click the palette, click there, and I've got the two colours, and I can just keep going. So the hair, select the colour brown, come up here, and there you go. And you can build up these palettes and add as many as you like. And if you create a palette and you want to get rid of it, all you need to do is swipe to the left and click delete. The next thing is symmetry. So this is super handy if you want to draw things that are equal on both sides, or even mandalas, which are super popular with Procreate users. So in order to do symmetry on your iPad, you need to go into the top corner with this little spanner, click that, and then when you are in actions, go to canvas, and then here on drawing guide, just turn it on, and then you'll see that this blue-green grid comes up, and you can edit the drawing guide and change it. So currently it's on 2D grid, which is just a bunch of squares to keep me in line, but if I want to do symmetry, I go down here, click symmetry, and currently it's on half and half. So if I'll just show you how this one works. So if I draw on one side, it repeats the drawing on the other side. So first thing that I think of, if you want to draw a butterfly, you can draw a butterfly. Wow, that's the worst butterfly I've ever drawn. And of course, symmetry also works in different ways. So if you go back up to canvas and edit drawing guide, you can go into these different sections. So we have vertical and horizontal, which are the same principle, just one mirror in the middle of your screen, copying it. And then you have quadrant and radial. So quadrant is when the screen is being split into 4. So I will show you this one. So again, it mirrors it, but this time mirrors it 4 times. So you could make some really cute patterns if you play around with this for a little while. And then the final one is the radial one. So this is the one that I tend to use for mandalas. I'd probably have a square canvas, but you can kind of understand. So if you are familiar with mandalas, you'll know that they are pretty little circle patterns. And this basically allows you to create whatever kind of mandala you would like, because it is mirroring the screen in 4 different, well not 4, in 8 different places. Another tool that I find really helpful is Alpha Lock. I use this a lot when I'm doing cartoon portraiture, and it allows me to basically colour within the lines. That's how I like to describe it. So let's say I have drawn something very simple once again. Are we surprised? Probably not. A sunshine. So here is my sunshine. So now I have my very dodgy looking sunshine. I'm just going to fill it. So another bonus tip, if you click and drag over the colour into any completely joined shapes, it will fill that with the colour that you have. And because that one didn't have a joined line, it's covered the whole page. So I'm just going to go in and sort that out. So now I have my sunshine. So if you click up in layers, you can see that the sunshine is here. And to use Alpha Lock, all you do is click the layer once, and down in this menu is Alpha Lock. So if you click that, that has now activated the Alpha Lock. You know it is on because a little grid appears in this little thumbnail preview. And now it only lets you draw within the lines. So I'm going to take this different pen. I'm going to put it on a orange, light orange, maybe a yellow shade. We'll go for yellow. And what I'm going to do is just paint on it. It's not actually that colourful, is it, that pen? Let's try a different pen. So as you can see, if I draw, it's keeping me only within the sunshine itself. It's not letting me go onto the white canvas. Whereas if I turned Alpha Lock off, so I'm just going to go into layers, click the layer, uncheck Alpha Lock, and then do the same thing on this side, you'll see that it goes over the lines. So effectively Alpha Lock is like colouring within the lines. Now LIQUIFY is a tool that many Procreate artists swear by, and it's one I've not seemed to try out very often, but when I do, I love it. So to use LIQUIFY, all you do is go up into the left hand corner and click the little magic wand tool, I guess, and down here you have LIQUIFY. So now you have LIQUIFY turned on. So you have a number of different settings. If you're familiar with LIQUIFY in Photoshop, you'll probably understand this because it works very similarly. But push allows you to effectively nudge areas of the photo. So if I do that, you can see that it's pushing the photo inwards. Twirl right, I'm just going to press the screen and you'll see what it does. It twists the image. So if you want to make some kind of smoke themes, or like you're drawing a cup of tea with some steam coming out of it, you can use that to curve the lines. Pinch, clues in the name, it just pinches it so it makes that area smaller. This is very similar to Photoshop. That's obviously where they got the idea from. And then there's just a bunch of different things that you can play around with. So for example, if you've drawn a cartoon and the proportions of the face are a little off and you don't really want to go back in to use the erase tool because it's going to mess things up, you could just use the push tool, change the size of the brush, and just kind of adjust any facial features you want to adjust. So I could make her smile a little bit more, I could lower her eyebrows, etc, etc. A new favourite of mine is brush swap. So I'm currently drawing something with the hard airbrush tool, and I really like using this brush for whatever thing I am drawing today, and I decide that I want to erase it. So if I want to erase with exactly the same brush, I could go into here and find the hard airbrush tool, but it just seems a bit like a lot of work. So all you do is click and hold on the brush, a little menu comes up and it says erase with current brush, and it will bring up the eraser as the exact same brush as the pen tool. It also works the other way around. If you have quite a complex piece of art and you're struggling with keeping track of all the different layers, grouping them is a super easy and effective way of keeping track of everything. So to group a layer, all you need to do is click on the layer that you want to be put into a group, hover it over a different layer and let go, and it will create a new group for you. And if you want to rename that group, all you need to do is click it and then click rename, and you can name it whatever you think is the easiest. So there you have a group that you can have open or closed, and you can also drag other layers into it as well if you want to add more layers into that particular group. So this is a background I created, and I found the isolate layer update super helpful when creating this. So in here I have quite a lot of different layers. I did it in a number of different colours, so I got a little bit confused with the layers. So the new 4.3 update of Procreate has solved this problem. So if you are wanting to view just one layer at a time, all you need to do is click and hold, and it will hide all of the other layers and only leave the one you clicked on to view. So if you wanted to edit just that layer by itself, you can now do that. You can draw on that layer, you can erase that layer, and it also works the other way around. So once you have edited that isolated layer, if you click and hold, it will reactivate all the original layers. Another new addition to Procreate is the ability to save projects with layers. So here in this file, I've just drawn 3 simple love hearts in different colours, and what I can do now is save them as separate layers. So all you need to do is go up into the top left on the little cog and go to share. So then down here, you'll notice that there is a new layer of options. If you are familiar with the older versions of Procreate, this is definitely new. So you can either click PDF, so it will save it as a multi-level PDF file, PNG, so it will save it into a folder of multiple PNG files, or you can even do animations, so a GIF, a PNG, or an MP4. So I have actually created this so we can make a GIF. So all I'm going to do is click on GIF, and because this has 3 layers, you can see that the colours here are changing, so you can adjust the timing, so if you want it to go a little bit slower or faster. So if you are wanting to make some GIFs, this is a super easy way of doing it. You can save it as full resolution, web ready, also a transparent background, so it's just the element itself. So this is a super fun way of making your own little GIFs. And also, if you have a really complex file that you want to bring into Photoshop or Illustrator, you can of course save it as a PNG file, and it will bunch all the different layers together, and you can import that into Photoshop and edit it that way around too. And the final thing I want to share with you today is the new text update. So this update I have found super handy when I've been designing logos. It means I can kind of work out what text I want in there before I put it into Photoshop or Illustrator. So all you need to do to add text is to go up to the cog on the top, go to add, and then add text, and then a text box will appear. You can write whatever you want in it, so I'll just write my name for now, and then you can edit style. So currently it is coloured in the colour of my palette, so if you wanted it pink, you can change it to pink or orange or whatever. We'll put it on pink for now. And then in here you have a bunch of different fonts. Something that I really like is that you can import fonts, so if one of the kind of basic fonts doesn't suit your fancy, you can import fonts. So you can go into your iPad's files or go onto your iCloud and download some fonts. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with what's here. So let's just go with this one. So in here you can change whether it's italic, bold, you can change the size of it. You can also, because I've changed the size, it's now grouped the letters, not the letters, the words on top of each other. So all you need to do is drag that. You can change the kerning, so the space between the letters, and a bunch of different controls. And then on the right, it's similar to Photoshop, so you can change the alignment of the text, you can underline it. And the thing I really like is that you can kind of invert the text. So if you press this one, it just adds an outline to the text, which I think is a really cool feature. And then the final one, you can add capital letters. So similar to Photoshop and Illustrator, but really, really handy if you are just using Procreate to make your designs. So that's it. Those are my 10 new tips and tricks for Procreate. Let me know if you have any more that I've not mentioned down in the comments below. I'm all up for learning new things and sharing the knowledge with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you aren't already subscribed, please do, because I'm going to be making a bunch more videos like this, and I already have a few already uploaded, so I will leave a playlist linked on screen. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye!